It can be quite puzzling for the average person to understand why people with narcissistic personality disorder behave so badly. I am often asked to explain why narcissists idealize and devalue other people, why they brag about their successes and forget their failures, why they feel entitled to the best of everything, and why they seem to lack the ability to truly care about anyone but themselves. Being a narcissist is a bit like being a car. Cars run on fuel. They have a gas tank to hold fuel. However, they cannot produce fuel for themselves, or even refuel themselves without external help. Once they use up the fuel inside their tank, they need someone else to refuel them. Therefore, an easy way to understand narcissism is to imagine being a car with a leaky gas tank. The fuel you run on is self-esteem. Even if you start the day with a full tank, you can feel your self-esteem start to diminish as you go through the day. You have learned to stay focused on potential sources of new fuel praise, chances to outdo someone else, proximity to high-status people and things, and the things that deplete your self-esteem, criticism, being ignored, devalued, or discarded. But do not worry, I will teach you 10 ways on how you can punish this kind of people. Chapter 1. Understand narcissistic behavior. Understanding narcissistic behavior is crucial for anyone entangled in the web of a narcissist's influence, whether in personal relationships, workplaces, or other areas of social interaction. This chapter delves deep into the psyche of a narcissist, shedding light on their actions and motivations to better prepare individuals for dealing with such personalities effectively and safeguarding their mental and emotional well-being. Narcissistic personality disorder (NPD), as classified by the DSM-5, is marked by a grandiose sense of self-importance, a preoccupation with fantasies of unlimited success, beauty, power, or ideal love, and a craving for excessive admiration and attention. Narcissists often display a sense of entitlement, take advantage of others to achieve their own ends, and frequently lack empathy. They are also often envious of others or believe that others are envious of them. Understanding these traits in depth is not just about labeling or diagnosing those around us, but rather about recognizing patterns that may influence our interactions and relationships. A deep dive into the psychological underpinnings of narcissism reveals that despite their overtly inflated egos, narcissists often harbor deep-seated insecurities and fears of inadequacy. This paradoxical state leads them to construct an external facade of superiority to shield their fragile self-esteem from perceived threats. They are particularly sensitive to criticism and can react with disproportionate aggression, contempt, or disdain when they feel slighted or inferior. This defensive mechanism is a key concept to grasp, as it often explains the unpredictable and often volatile reactions from narcissists to seemingly benign interactions. The chapter also explores the developmental aspects of narcissism, discussing theories that suggest its roots may lie in early childhood experiences. For example, excessive pampering or, conversely, harsh criticism by parents and other caregivers can contribute to the formation of narcissistic traits. Such upbringing leads individuals to either inflate their self-image as a defense mechanism or adapt by constantly seeking validation to reassure themselves of their worth. Moreover, understanding narcissistic behavior involves recognizing the manipulation techniques commonly employed by narcissists. These can include gaslighting, a psychological tactic used to make someone question their own reality and sanity. They might also use charm offensively, initially coming across as highly charismatic and appealing, which helps them garner the admiration they so desperately crave. Over time, this charm can turn into coercion, subtly shifting from enchantment to manipulation as the narcissist pushes for dominance and control over relationships. The cognitive processes of a narcissist are also critical to understand. They often engage in black and white thinking, categorizing people or situations in extremes, either idealizing or devaluing them, which is part of their defense mechanism. This dichotomous thinking helps them align reality with their distorted self-image and emotional needs, disregarding nuances and complexities in people and situations. Furthermore, understanding narcissistic behavior also means recognizing the impact it has on those around them. People involved with narcissists often experience a range of negative emotions and states, such as feeling used, undervalued, constantly confused, and emotionally exhausted. This understanding is crucial for victims to recognize the toxic dynamics they are part of and start the process of disentangling themselves from the narcissist's influence. By equipping oneself with knowledge about these behaviors and their origins, individuals can develop more effective strategies for interaction that protect their interests and emotional health. Strategies might include setting clear boundaries, limiting emotional engagement, and when necessary, severing ties. Understanding also aids in healing, allowing victims to contextualize their experiences and recover from any psychological damage inflicted. In summary, the first chapter on understanding narcissistic behavior serves as a foundation for all subsequent advice on dealing with narcissists. It offers a comprehensive exploration of why narcissists behave the way they do, enabling readers to predict and prepare for their interactions with such individuals. This understanding not only facilitates more effective management of relationships involving narcissists, but also empowers those affected to make informed decisions about their degree of engagement and to seek healing from any emotional trauma experienced. Chapter 2. Set firm boundaries. Setting firm boundaries is an essential strategy for anyone dealing with narcissistic individuals. This chapter explores the importance of boundary setting not only as a protective measure, but also as a means of asserting one's self-respect and personal space when interacting with someone who exhibits narcissistic tendencies. Understanding and establishing clear boundaries are crucial because they dictate how much you allow others to affect your life, emotions, and well-being. When dealing with narcissists, boundary setting becomes particularly challenging due to their manipulative nature and their tendency to disregard others' needs and feelings. Narcissists often perceive the setting of boundaries as a threat to their control or an affront to their perceived superiority. They may react with anger, disdain, or even by ramping up their manipulative tactics. However, the absence of strong boundaries gives them the green light to continue their disruptive behaviors, which typically include taking advantage of others, demanding excessive attention, and showing little respect for the autonomy and rights of those around them. This chapter underscores the importance of being explicit about your limits from the beginning of your interactions with a narcissist. It discusses the types of boundaries one might need to set, which can be emotional, such as not allowing oneself to be drawn into their drama, physical, like avoiding personal space invasions, or even digital, such as not responding to messages outside of appropriate times. Each type of boundary addresses a different aspect of life that a narcissist might try to encroach upon. The process of setting boundaries involves several steps, starting with self-reflection to identify what you are comfortable with and where you need to draw the line. It's essential to be clear about your own values and priorities, as these guide you in deciding what behaviors you cannot tolerate. Communicating your boundaries clearly and assertively to the narcissist is the next step, ensuring there is no ambiguity that might invite testing or violations of these boundaries. The chapter also offers advice on how to enforce boundaries once they are set. This enforcement is crucial because narcissists often test limits repeatedly. Enforcing boundaries might involve taking specific actions like stepping away from a situation when your limits are pushed, or even cutting off contact in extreme cases. It's emphasized that while setting boundaries might provoke initial backlash from the narcissist, consistency in enforcement typically leads to a reduction in boundary testing over time. Moreover, the emotional aspects of boundary setting are discussed, acknowledging that it can be emotionally taxing and sometimes guilt-inducing, especially if the narcissist reacts negatively. Support from friends, therapists, or support groups can be invaluable during this process. These support systems can provide the encouragement and reinforcement needed to maintain your resolve and remind you that setting boundaries is not only healthy but necessary for your mental health and self-respect. Finally, the chapter delves into the benefits of successfully setting and maintaining boundaries. These include increased self-esteem, a clearer sense of identity independent of the narcissist's influence, and improved mental health. Effective boundary setting leads to a more balanced life and healthier interpersonal dynamics, even in the presence of a narcissist. In summary, this chapter provides a comprehensive guide to understanding, setting, and maintaining boundaries with narcissists. By establishing firm boundaries, individuals protect themselves from the emotionally draining and often chaotic influence of narcissists, ultimately fostering a sense of peace and control in their own lives. Chapter 3. Cut off narcissistic supply. In the context of dealing with narcissistic individuals, one of the most effective strategies is cutting off their narcissistic supply, which refers to any form of attention, admiration, or emotional energy that fuels their ego and sense of superiority. This chapter delves into the rationale and methodology behind this approach, offering insights into how withdrawing this supply can significantly impact the narcissist's behavior and reduce their influence over others. Narcissists thrive on the attention and admiration they receive from others, whether positive or negative, as it validates their inflated self-worth and sustains their self-esteem. This dependence on external validation is a core aspect of narcissistic behavior. Therefore, cutting off the supply can lead to a reduction in their manipulative behaviors, as the rewards they seek are no longer available. The chapter begins by explaining this psychological mechanism, illustrating how narcissists use relationships and social interactions as mirrors to reflect the grandiose image they have of themselves.
The process of cutting off the narcissistic supply involves several deliberate actions, primarily centered around not engaging with the narcissist's attempts to provoke reactions, whether through conflict, praise-seeking, or emotional manipulation. This technique is closely related to the concept of gray rocking, a strategy where one becomes emotionally non-responsive and dull, like a gray rock, making them a less appealing target for the narcissist's tactics.
Implementing this strategy requires a strong resolve and an understanding of the typical behaviors a narcissist exhibits when their supply is threatened. The chapter discusses these potential behaviors, such as increased manipulation attempts, aggression, or playing the victim tactics designed to re-engage you emotionally. Awareness and preparation for these reactions are crucial, as they empower individuals to remain firm in their non-engagement stance despite possible escalations. Moreover, cutting off supply is not only about refusing to provide attention, but also about redefining personal boundaries and the nature of the relationship. It may involve limiting personal information shared with a narcissist, reducing the frequency and depth of interactions, or in some cases, ceasing all contact. Each step is discussed in terms of practical implementation, with emphasis on maintaining personal integrity and emotional health. The emotional implications of cutting off narcissistic supply are significant. The chapter explores the feelings of guilt or doubt that might arise, especially if the narcissist reacts by portraying themselves as a victim or by attempting to elicit sympathy. It provides strategies for managing these emotions, such as seeking support from understanding friends, family, or professionals who can provide validation and reinforcement of the decision. Finally, the chapter highlights the long-term benefits of cutting off the narcissistic supply. These include a more peaceful and controlled environment, less emotional drama, and a significant decrease in the psychological toll that constant engagement with a narcissist can exert. By removing the fuel from the fire, so to speak, individuals find that the narcissist may either look elsewhere for their narcissistic supply, or may, over time, reduce their demands and expectations from those who no longer provide it. In essence, this chapter offers a thorough guide on how to effectively withdraw from the role of supplier to a narcissist's ego needs, which not only limits their ability to manipulate, but also promotes a healthier, more autonomous lifestyle for those affected by their behavior. Chapter 4. Use strategic communication. The fourth chapter of the Guide on Handling Narcissists delves into the nuances of strategic communication, an essential tool for anyone dealing with a narcissistic individual. This chapter emphasizes the importance of carefully choosing words, timing, and methods of communication to minimize conflict and emotional drain while dealing with a narcissist. Strategic communication is not about dishonesty or manipulation. Rather, it is about protecting one's mental health and navigating interactions with a difficult personality type as smoothly as possible. Narcissists often engage in communication styles that are aggressive, manipulative, or overly demanding. They might use guilt, flattery, or anger to elicit a response that serves their emotional or egotistical needs. Therefore, strategic communication involves a level of mindfulness and planning that helps avoid the common traps set by narcissists during conversations. It requires an understanding of the narcissist's triggers and vulnerabilities and uses this knowledge to steer conversations towards neutral or less volatile topics. This chapter outlines techniques for maintaining control over the direction and tone of conversations. One key technique is the use of clear, concise, and assertive language that leaves little room for misinterpretation or manipulation. It also suggests avoiding topics that you know are likely to lead to grandstanding or emotional outbursts from the narcissist. Instead, focus on factual, unemotional exchanges that keep interactions brief and to the point. Another critical aspect of strategic communication discussed in the chapter is timing. Engaging with a narcissist when they are in a relatively calm state can lead to more productive and less confrontational interactions. On the other hand, attempting to discuss important matters during their moments of high emotional intensity can result in heightened conflict and stress. Therefore, timing your conversations wisely, perhaps choosing environments or contexts where they feel less compelled to perform or dominate, can make a significant difference. The chapter also covers the importance of non-verbal communication. Body language, facial expressions, and even the physical distance maintained during interactions can convey a lot of information. By adopting a neutral, composed demeanor, you can prevent giving away emotional cues that a narcissist might exploit. Maintaining a calm and controlled presence can often diffuse tense situations and prevent the narcissist from escalating the interaction. Moreover, the concept of gray rocking mentioned earlier is expanded upon in this chapter as a part of strategic communication. By making your responses as uninteresting as possible, you discourage the narcissist from seeing you as a source of stimulating interaction. This method is particularly effective in draining situations where engaging emotionally does not yield positive outcomes. Additionally, the chapter discusses how to handle manipulation attempts through communication. This involves recognizing common manipulative tactics such as gaslighting, guilt-tripping, or using love as leverage. By identifying these tactics early in the conversation, you can choose to redirect the conversation or even disengage entirely before the narcissist's behavior takes a toll on your emotional state. Lastly, strategic communication is presented not only as a defensive tactic, but also as a means of gradually changing the dynamics of your relationship with the narcissist. Consistently applying these communication strategies can teach the narcissist what is acceptable in your interactions, potentially leading to more respectful and less volatile exchanges over time.
In summary, this chapter equips readers with the tools to engage in strategic communication with narcissists, aiming to maintain personal integrity and emotional balance. Through careful planning, assertiveness, and emotional detachment, these strategies help manage and possibly improve challenging interactions with narcissists.
Chapter 5. Maintain emotional distance.
Maintaining emotional distance is a vital strategy for safeguarding one's well-being when dealing with narcissistic individuals. This chapter explores the significance of creating and preserving a psychological barrier between oneself and the narcissist to prevent emotional manipulation and maintain a sense of inner calm and stability.
The chapter begins by emphasizing the importance of recognizing and understanding one's own emotional triggers and vulnerabilities in interactions with narcissists. This self-awareness lays the foundation for building emotional resilience and adopting strategies to protect oneself from being drawn into the narcissist's manipulative tactics. By understanding how the narcissist's behavior affects one's emotions, individuals can develop effective coping mechanisms to maintain their emotional equilibrium. One key aspect of maintaining emotional distance is learning to detach oneself from the narcissist's emotional roller coaster. Narcissists often provoke strong emotional reactions in others through their dramatic behavior, seeking to control and manipulate their emotions for their own gain. By consciously choosing not to react emotionally to the narcissist's provocations, individuals can regain a sense of control over their own emotional state and prevent themselves from being emotionally drained by the narcissist's antics. The chapter also explores the concept of emotional self-protection, which involves setting boundaries around one's own emotional space and not allowing the narcissist to encroach upon it. This may involve limiting the amount of personal information shared with the narcissist, refraining from disclosing sensitive emotions or vulnerabilities, and maintaining a sense of emotional privacy. By safeguarding one's emotional boundaries, individuals can prevent the narcissist from exploiting their emotions for their own gain. Another key strategy for maintaining emotional distance is practicing mindfulness and staying grounded in the present moment. Mindfulness techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, and visualization can help individuals stay centered and focused, even in the midst of challenging interactions with narcissists. By cultivating a sense of inner calm and balance, individuals can prevent themselves from becoming emotionally entangled in the narcissist's drama and maintain a clear perspective on the situation. Additionally, the chapter explores the importance of cultivating a strong support network of friends, family, or therapists who can provide emotional validation and support. Having a supportive community of people who understand the dynamics of narcissistic relationships can provide individuals with a safe space to express their emotions and seek guidance and reassurance. This external support can help individuals maintain their emotional distance from the narcissist and prevent them from feeling isolated or overwhelmed by the challenges they face. Finally, the chapter emphasizes the importance of self-care and prioritizing one's own emotional well-being. Engaging in activities that bring joy, relaxation, and fulfillment can help individuals replenish their emotional reserves and build resilience in the face of narcissistic manipulation. By investing in self-care practices, individuals can cultivate a strong sense of self-worth and inner strength that enables them to withstand the emotional challenges posed by narcissistic individuals. In summary, maintaining emotional distance is a critical strategy for protecting one's emotional well-being when dealing with narcissistic individuals. By understanding and implementing strategies to detach oneself from the narcissist's emotional manipulation, individuals can maintain a sense of inner calm and stability and prevent themselves from being emotionally drained by the narcissist's behavior.
Chapter 6. Assert yourself.
Asserting oneself is a fundamental strategy for individuals navigating relationships with narcissistic individuals. This chapter delves into the importance of assertiveness in setting boundaries, expressing needs and preferences, and maintaining personal integrity in the face of manipulative behavior. The chapter begins by highlighting the distinction between assertiveness and aggressiveness. While aggression involves the forceful imposition of one's will onto others, assertiveness is about confidently expressing oneself while respecting the rights and boundaries of others. Assertiveness empowers individuals to communicate effectively, advocate for their needs, and stand up for themselves without resorting to hostile or confrontational tactics. Assertiveness is particularly crucial when setting and enforcing boundaries with narcissistic individuals. Narcissists often push boundaries, testing limits and exploiting weaknesses to gain control and manipulate others. By assertively asserting one's boundaries, individuals send a clear message that certain behaviors are unacceptable and will not be tolerated. This can help prevent the narcissist from overstepping boundaries and establish a foundation for healthier, more respectful interactions. The chapter also explores techniques for assertive communication, such as using I statements to express feelings and needs, maintaining direct eye contact and confident body language, and staying calm and composed in the face of resistance or manipulation. Assertive communication involves being clear, direct, and specific about one's expectations and boundaries, while also being open to negotiation and compromise when appropriate. Moreover, assertiveness empowers individuals to advocate for their needs and preferences in relationships with narcissistic individuals. Narcissists often prioritize their own desires and agendas, disregarding the needs and feelings of others. By assertively expressing one's needs and standing firm in their convictions, individuals assert their autonomy and self-worth, refusing to be manipulated or controlled by the narcissist's selfish motives. The chapter also addresses the challenges and obstacles individuals may encounter when asserting themselves with narcissistic individuals. Narcissists may respond to assertive behavior with hostility, resistance, or attempts to undermine one's confidence and self-esteem. However, by maintaining a strong sense of self-worth and resilience, individuals can weather these challenges and stay true to their assertive communication style. Additionally, the chapter emphasizes the importance of practicing self-compassion and self-care when asserting oneself in relationships with narcissistic individuals. Assertiveness requires courage and strength, and it's essential for individuals to recognize and honor their efforts to stand up for themselves, even in the face of resistance or criticism. Engaging in self-care practices, such as mindfulness, relaxation techniques, and seeking support from trusted friends or professionals, can help individuals maintain their emotional well-being and confidence. In summary, assertiveness is a powerful tool for individuals navigating relationships with narcissistic individuals. By confidently expressing needs and boundaries, advocating for oneself, and maintaining personal integrity, individuals can establish healthier and more respectful interactions while protecting their emotional well-being from manipulation and control.
Chapter 7. Recognize gaslighting tactics.
Gaslighting is a pervasive and insidious manipulation tactic used by narcissists to distort reality, undermine the victim's confidence, and maintain control over them. This chapter delves into the dynamics of gaslighting, explores common tactics employed by narcissists, and offers strategies for recognizing and confronting gaslighting behavior. Gaslighting typically involves the narcissist denying or minimizing the victim's experiences, feelings, or perceptions, thereby causing the victim to doubt their own reality and sanity. The chapter begins by elucidating the psychological mechanisms underlying gaslighting, including the narcissist's desire for dominance and control, their need to preserve their self-image as infallible, and their ability to exploit the victim's vulnerabilities. One of the primary gaslighting tactics discussed in the chapter is the distortion of facts or events. Narcissists often twist the truth, fabricate stories, or selectively omit information to cast doubt on the victim's version of events and make them question their memory or perception. By sowing seeds of uncertainty and confusion, the narcissist maintains a position of power and authority over the victim. Another common gaslighting tactic explored in the chapter is the projection of the narcissist's own flaws onto the victim. By accusing the victim of behaviors or emotions that they themselves exhibit, the narcissist deflects attention away from their own shortcomings and undermines the victim's credibility. This tactic serves to further erode the victim's self-confidence and reinforce the narcissist's control. Furthermore, gaslighting often involves the manipulation of emotions and perceptions. Narcissists may use emotional manipulation techniques such as guilt tripping, invalidating the victim's feelings, or playing the victim themselves to elicit sympathy and deflect responsibility for their actions. By exploiting the victim's empathy and compassion, the narcissist maintains a facade of innocence and victimhood while perpetuating their manipulative behavior. The chapter provides strategies for recognizing and confronting gaslighting behavior, emphasizing the importance of trusting one's instincts and intuition. Gaslighting thrives on the victim's self-doubt and uncertainty, so cultivating self-awareness and self-trust is crucial for resisting manipulation. The chapter encourages individuals to document instances of gaslighting, seek validation from trusted friends or professionals, and set boundaries to protect themselves from further manipulation. Moreover, the chapter addresses the psychological impact of gaslighting on the victim's mental and emotional well-being. Gaslighting can lead to feelings of confusion, anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem as the victim struggles to reconcile their perception of reality with the narcissist's distorted version. Recognizing the signs of gaslighting and seeking support from others can help mitigate these negative effects and empower the victim to assert their truth and reclaim their sense of self. In summary, recognizing gaslighting tactics is essential for individuals navigating relationships with narcissists. By understanding the dynamics of gaslighting, identifying common manipulation tactics, and cultivating self-awareness and self-trust, individuals can protect themselves from manipulation and maintain their psychological integrity in the face of narcissistic abuse.
Chapter 8. Limit contact.
Limiting contact with a narcissistic individual is a crucial strategy for protecting one's mental and emotional well-being. This chapter explores the rationale behind reducing or cutting off contact with narcissists, discusses the challenges and obstacles individuals may face in implementing this strategy, and offers practical advice for minimizing exposure to narcissistic abuse. The chapter begins by examining the toxic dynamics inherent in relationships with narcissists. Narcissists thrive on power and control, often resorting to manipulation, gaslighting, and emotional abuse to maintain their dominance over others. Limiting contact with a narcissist is therefore essential for breaking free from the cycle of abuse and reclaiming one's autonomy and self-worth. One of the primary reasons for limiting contact with narcissists is to protect oneself from further harm. Narcissistic individuals can be emotionally draining, volatile, and unpredictable, making interactions with them exhausting and detrimental to one's mental health. By reducing or cutting off contact, individuals create a protective barrier between themselves and the narcissist, minimizing the opportunity for further abuse or manipulation. The chapter explores various strategies for limiting contact with narcissists depending on the nature of the relationship and the individual's circumstances. These strategies may include setting boundaries around communication, reducing the frequency or duration of interactions, or in extreme cases, completely severing ties with the narcissist. Each approach is discussed in terms of its potential benefits and challenges, empowering individuals to make informed decisions about their level of engagement with the narcissist. Moreover, the chapter addresses the emotional challenges individuals may encounter when limiting contact with narcissists. Guilt, fear, and obligation are common emotions that arise when considering distancing oneself from a narcissistic individual, particularly if they are a family member or close friend. However, it is emphasized that prioritizing one's own well-being is essential, even if it means setting boundaries or cutting off contact with someone who is toxic or abusive. The chapter also provides guidance on how to implement and maintain boundaries around contact with narcissists. This may involve clearly communicating one's intentions and expectations to the narcissist, seeking support from trusted friends or professionals, and developing a support network of individuals who understand the challenges of dealing with narcissistic individuals. By surrounding oneself with understanding and validation, individuals can strengthen their resolve to limit contact and protect themselves from further harm. Additionally, the chapter explores the potential benefits of limiting contact with narcissists, including increased emotional stability, reduced stress and anxiety, and improved overall well-being. By creating distance from toxic relationships, individuals create space for healing, self-reflection, and personal growth, ultimately reclaiming control over their lives and identities. In summary, limiting contact with narcissistic individuals is a critical strategy for protecting one's mental and emotional health. By recognizing the toxic dynamics inherent in relationships with narcissists, setting boundaries around contact, and seeking support from others, individuals can create a safe and supportive environment for themselves, free from the influence of narcissistic abuse.
Chapter 9. Document everything.
Documenting interactions and experiences with narcissistic individuals is a vital strategy for individuals seeking to protect themselves and establish accountability. This chapter explores the importance of documentation, provides guidance on what to document, and offers practical tips for maintaining accurate records of narcissistic behavior. The chapter begins by highlighting the value of documentation in validating one's experiences and memories. Narcissists often employ gaslighting tactics to distort reality and undermine the victim's perception of events. By keeping detailed records of interactions, individuals can counteract gaslighting attempts and maintain confidence in their own version of events. Documentation serves as a tangible reminder of the narcissist's behavior, providing validation and support for the victim's reality. One of the primary reasons for documenting interactions with narcissists is to establish a pattern of behavior over time. Narcissistic individuals often exhibit consistent patterns of manipulation, aggression, and abuse that can be difficult to recognize in isolation. By documenting each instance of narcissistic behavior, individuals can identify recurring themes and trends, providing valuable insight into the narcissist's motives and intentions. The chapter explores various methods for documenting interactions with narcissists, including written records, audio or video recordings, and contemporaneous notes. Each method has its advantages and limitations, and individuals are encouraged to choose the approach that best suits their preferences and circumstances. Regardless of the method chosen, the key is to maintain accuracy, objectivity, and consistency in documenting narcissistic behavior. Moreover, the chapter provides guidance on what information to document during interactions with narcissists. This may include specific details such as dates, times, locations, and descriptions of behavior, as well as any relevant communication, such as emails, text messages, or voicemails. By capturing as much detail as possible, individuals create a comprehensive record of the narcissist's behavior, which can be invaluable in future interactions or legal proceedings. Additionally, the chapter addresses the importance of storing and organizing documentation securely. Privacy and confidentiality are paramount when documenting interactions with narcissists, as the narcissist may attempt to access or manipulate the information for their own gain. Individuals are advised to keep documentation in a safe and secure location, such as a password-protected digital file or a locked physical storage space, to prevent unauthorized access or tampering. Finally, the chapter explores the potential benefits of documentation for individuals seeking to confront narcissistic individuals. By presenting concrete evidence of narcissistic behavior, individuals can hold the narcissist accountable for their actions and establish boundaries around future interactions. Documentation also provides a sense of empowerment and validation for the victim, helping them reclaim control over their narrative and their lives. In summary, documenting interactions with narcissistic individuals is a powerful strategy for individuals seeking to protect themselves and establish accountability. By maintaining accurate records of narcissistic behavior, individuals can validate their experiences, identify patterns of manipulation, and hold the narcissist accountable for their actions. Documentation serves as a tangible reminder of the narcissist's behavior, empowering individuals to reclaim control over their lives and establish boundaries around future interactions. Chapter 10. Seek support. Seeking support is a crucial strategy for individuals navigating relationships with narcissistic individuals. This chapter explores the importance of seeking support, discusses different sources of support available, and offers guidance on how to effectively leverage support networks to cope with narcissistic abuse. The chapter begins by acknowledging the emotional toll of dealing with narcissistic individuals and the challenges individuals may face in coping with narcissistic abuse alone. Narcissists often employ manipulation, gaslighting, and emotional coercion to control and undermine their victims, leading to feelings of isolation, confusion, and self-doubt. Seeking support provides individuals with validation, empathy, and understanding, helping them feel less alone and more empowered to address their experiences. One of the primary reasons for seeking support is to gain validation for one's experiences and feelings. Narcissistic individuals often use gaslighting tactics to distort reality and undermine the victim's perception of events. By sharing their experiences with others who understand and believe them, individuals can validate their reality and regain confidence in their own perceptions. Validation from others helps individuals recognize that they are not to blame for the narcissist's behavior and that they deserve support and understanding. The chapter explores various sources of support available to individuals dealing with narcissistic abuse, including friends, family members, support groups, therapists, and online communities. Each source of support offers unique benefits and advantages, and individuals are encouraged to explore different options to find the best fit for their needs. Friends and family members provide emotional support and validation, while support groups and online communities offer a sense of solidarity and understanding from others who have experienced similar challenges. Therapists provide professional guidance and support, helping individuals develop coping strategies and heal from the emotional wounds inflicted by narcissistic abuse. Moreover, the chapter provides guidance on how to effectively leverage support networks to cope with narcissistic abuse. This may include reaching out to trusted friends or family members for emotional support, joining support groups or online communities to connect with others who understand, and seeking therapy to process and heal from the trauma of narcissistic abuse. It's emphasized that seeking support is not a sign of weakness, but rather a strength, as it allows individuals to access the resources and guidance they need to cope with challenging circumstances and reclaim their sense of self-worth and agency. Additionally, the chapter addresses common barriers and obstacles individuals may encounter when seeking support, such as fear of judgment or stigma, concerns about confidentiality, or difficulty trusting others. Strategies for overcoming these barriers are discussed, including practicing self-compassion, setting boundaries around who to trust, and gradually opening up to others as trust is established. In summary, seeking support is a vital strategy for individuals coping with narcissistic abuse. By accessing support from friends, family members, support groups, therapists, and online communities, individuals can gain validation, empathy, and understanding, helping them feel less alone and more empowered to address their experiences. Seeking support is an important step towards healing from the trauma of narcissistic abuse and reclaiming one's sense of self-worth and agency.